You are running right now. Even sitting still, you are running from something. There is a version of you that you refuse to look at, a quiet voice you drown out with noise, with work, with scrolling, with anything. You tell yourself you are busy. You tell yourself you will deal with it later, but later never comes, does it? And here is the question that ruined the sleep of one of history's greatest minds. What if the thing you have been running from your entire life is the only thing that can set you free? Rome, almost 2,000 years ago, a boy is dragged through the streets in chains. His name is Epictetus, and he owns nothing. Not his time, not his labor, not even his own body. He is a slave in the house of a wealthy and cruel man named Epictetus. And there is a story whispered down through the centuries that tells you everything about the mind that was forming inside this boy. One day, his master, in a fit of rage, begins to twist his leg, slowly, cruelly. And Epictetus, calm as still water, looks up and says, "If you keep doing that, you will break it." The master does not stop. There is a crack. The leg snaps. And Epictetus, without a flicker of panic, simply says, "There, I told you it would break." He would walk with a limp for the rest of his life. Now, whether that story is exact history or legend hardened by time, it points at something true, because think about what it reveals. A man who owned nothing, who could be beaten, sold, or killed on a whim, had found the one territory no chain could reach. But here is what almost no one realizes. That calm was not born from strength. It was born from a discovery, a terrifying, liberating discovery about where the real prison actually is. And it is not where you think. Epictetus was about to learn that the master twisting his leg was never the thing enslaving him. The real master lived somewhere much closer to home. It lived inside his own head, and that same master right now lives inside yours. Here is the trap. Most people spend their whole lives believing their suffering comes from the outside. The boss who disrespects you, the partner who left, the money that never seems to be enough, the body that is aging. We build our entire misery around events, around other people, around the endless list of things we cannot control. And Epictetus, watching the powerful men of Rome from the bottom of the ladder, saw something that stopped him cold. He saw senators, generals, men who owned hundreds of slaves, men who could order a death with a nod, and he saw that they were more anxious, more sleepless, more terrified than he was. They had everything, and they were falling apart. How? How could a slave be free while the emperors trembled? And this is where it gets strange, because the answer forced Epictetus to confront a truth so uncomfortable that most people will do anything to avoid it. The truth is this: you are not disturbed by what happens to you. You are disturbed by your judgment about what happens to you. Read that again in your own life. The message that made your stomach drop. It was just words on a screen. The words did nothing. It was the story you told yourself about those words that flooded your body with dread. The rejection that broke you. It was not the event. It was the meaning you assigned to it. The verdict you passed on yourself. Guilty. Not enough. Unlovable. You have felt this. The morning you did not want to get out of bed, and it was not the day that was heavy. It was the weight you were carrying about the day. Epictetus realized that between every event and every reaction, there is a gap, a small silent space, and in that space lives your power, or your prison. Most people never even know the gap exists. They live their entire lives as a reflex. Something happens. They react. Something happens. They react, like a puppet jerked by strings they cannot see. But Epictetus was about to name those strings. And once you see them, you can never unsee them. So he built a code, 3 steps. Not a philosophy to admire from a distance, but a discipline to practice in the middle of your worst moment. And the first step is the one everyone wants to skip because it hurts the most. Step 1. Separate what is yours from what is not. Epictetus opened his teaching with a line that lands like a blade. Some things are within our power and some things are not. Sounds simple. It is not, because almost everything you are anxious about right now lives in the second category. What other people think of you, not yours. Whether you get the job, not fully yours. Whether the person loves you back, not yours. The past, not yours. the outcome of almost anything, not yours. So what is left? What is actually yours? Only this: your judgments, your choices, your effort, your response. That is it. That is the entire kingdom you were given. And here is the brutal, beautiful thing Epictetus understood in that house of chains. If you pour your happiness into things you do not control, you have handed the keys of your soul to every stranger, every circumstance, every accident of fate. You have made yourself a slave far deeper than he ever was. But if you draw the line correctly, if you say, "This is mine and this is not," something shifts. The anxiety starts to drain out of the things you were never holding in the first place. Now think about how you actually live. You lie awake replaying a conversation from 3 years ago. Gone, not yours. You rehearse an argument with someone who is not even in the room. You torture yourself over whether people approve of you, people who are barely thinking of you at all. You are spending the one currency you truly own, your attention, your inner life, on a casino where the house always wins. And this was only the first step, because separating what is yours is not enough. You can know the theory and still be a wreck. Epictetus knew that, which is why the second step is the one that actually changes you. And it begins with a word most people are terrified to hear. The word is honesty. Real honesty. The kind you have been avoiding your whole life. Step 2. Face yourself without flinching. Epictetus told his students something savage. He said most people, when things go wrong, blame others. The person beginning to learn blames himself, but the person who is truly free blames no one because he has stopped running from what he sees. Here is what that means for you. Every distraction you reach for, the phone, the food, the noise, the endless busyness, is a way of not sitting alone with yourself, because when it gets quiet, the voice comes back. The one that asks the questions you do not want to answer. Are you actually living or just surviving? Are you the person you promised you would become, or did you quietly give up somewhere along the way and dress the surrender up as being realistic? This is the thing you are running from. Not a monster, just an honest mirror. And Epictetus discovered that the running is the suffering. The exhaustion you feel is not from facing your life. It is from the enormous constant effort of not facing it. Now here is where modern science catches up to the slave from Rome. Psychologists today have a term, experiential avoidance. It describes the human habit of avoiding our own uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. And study after study has found the same thing. The more you avoid your inner discomfort, the more anxious and depressed you become. The avoidance does not shrink the pain. It feeds it. It grows in the dark. Epictetus said it 2,000 years ago in plainer words. He said, "We are not troubled by things, but by our avoidance of the truth about things." So the second step is to turn around, to stop in the middle of the panic and ask calmly, what part of this is a story I am telling myself? What am I afraid to admit? What is actually true right now in this moment, not in my imagination of the future? And when you do that, something almost unbelievable happens. The thing you were running from turns out to be smaller than the running. It always was. Which brings us back to that burning question from the beginning. What if the thing you have been running from is the only thing that can set you free? Now you have the answer. The self you are avoiding is not your enemy. It is your headquarters. It is the one place where your power actually lives. And this is step 3, the one that turns philosophy into a life. Act from what is yours. Epictetus taught that knowing is worthless without doing. He said, do not explain your philosophy, embody it. So here's the practice you can use tonight, and it costs nothing. When the wave of anxiety, anger, or dread hits you, pause, just for one breath, and silently ask 3 questions. 1. Is this in my control or not? If not, you set it down. You do not carry what was never yours. 2. What is the story I am adding to the facts? Strip it away. Look at only what is actually happening, bare and real. 3. What is the one action that is mine to take right now? Not the whole mountain, the next single step. Then take it. That is the entire code. Separate, face, act. Do it once, and you will feel a flicker of the freedom Epictetus felt with a broken leg in a tyrant's house. Do it 1,000 times, and you become someone the world cannot shake. because a mind that stops running from itself has nowhere left to be afraid of. Epictetus died free, in exile, still teaching, still calm. The slave outlasted the emperors, and he left us one final idea, quiet and heavy as stone. It is not death or pain we should fear. It is the possibility that we will reach the end still having never once truly looked ourselves in the eye. So tonight, before the noise starts again, sit with the one you've been avoiding. You may find he was never the enemy. He was only waiting for you to stop running. If this reached something in you, stay a while. Subscribe and let us keep walking these old roads together, because the next one goes deeper.